So it's the top of the hour. It's exactly midday. And in just about 5 minutes' time, the men's under-23 race will get underway. Men's under-23 race over 8.3 kilometres.
Spain, third place, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Fourth place, France. Fifth place,
so the action is coming along thick and fast here in Tilburg, at the Bergen Wildlife Park.
Switzerland. Results women under 23.
Well, there's the 1 and 2 from last year, 12 months ago in Samarin. France's Jimmy Gressier and Hugo Hay. Very good German, Samuel Fitwi. Britain's Mohamed. 2 other men to look out for. Solomon de Bonny, Topi Raitanen, 2 men who finished in the top 10 last year as well from Belgium and Finland. Mark, how do you see this race?
Well, I think France will be, when you've had the first 2 in the previous year back again in the same race, I think France are looking to retain their team title, which they won with an almost perfect score last year. But there's this interesting German that I know you know about, Fitwi.
Yes, I mean, he originally from Eritrea. He's been in Germany for many years, just recently got citizenship and has become qualified for Germany. Started out as a footballer, only really started training 2 years ago for distance races, but they had him doing a football test where he literally left everybody else standing. It's known as the Cooper test, where you run for 12 minutes, and I think he broke all regional records in it. And his coach clearly spotted his talent as a distance runner, and over time, Fitway has moved into distance running and given up team sports.
We just saw the defending champion there, Gressier. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't put his hat on. We saw his full head of hair there. He usually runs with a reverse baseball cap.
Yes, hasn't really shown very much. France this year running in the white vest. Last year, I think it was blue vest that we saw them. There's Simon de Bonny. De Bonny finishing 6th last year. Stan Easton, leading Dutch runner in this race. He'll be doing well if he finishes in the top 15, Easton. But huge support for him. Belgians, their fans have also massed in a certain part of the course known as the Belgian corner. There's Samuel Fitwi. There's your baseball cap that Mark was mentioning.
I think it's the same one as last year as well.
I hope he's washed it since then. As you say, we have got the gold and silver medalists back from last year, but quite an open race in team standings, I think.
It's the third counters that are going to make the difference again.
Well, France won the team title last year, just ahead of Belgium and Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It wouldn't be an entire surprise if that order was to be repeated. Spain also a good squad in there as well. Spain did finish just out of the medals in this category last year in 4th place. Your marks. Just saw there Louis Gilabert, who took the bronze medal in the under-20 race there, so the French fielding a very good team indeed.
Yes, if I had to pick a team, Phil, it would be France, because they've got the graduates from the class of 2015 that we saw winning the junior race on a home turf in Jerez so memorably in 2015. So they're the ones to beat, in my judgment.
And Fabian Palcao in there as well, as you say. Very good runner indeed. second in the 2015 under-20 race. So the French have a very good squad indeed. Mind you, the 2015 race was on home soil in Hyères, so extra motivated on that particular occasion. So Forsyth of Ireland just taking the lead at this stage. Ryan Forsyth, 11th in the NCAA Championships. We mentioned those during the under-23 women's race. Student at Colorado State University, coached by a very, very well-known American coach, Mark Wetmore. Adrian Ben, standing 1500 meter talent, Spanish man.
As is Dorian Rousseau of Romania up there. You would have seen him win European Junior title at 10,000 metres, Phil.
Yes, he's not difficult to spot. He's probably one of the taller athletes in there. Very big group at this early stage of the race. All the leading contenders up there. Just picking out as well Spain's Tarek Novales. Pablo Sanchez up there. The Belgians making a break, followed by Rusu, and once again this course claims a victim. It looks like one of the Italians who's had to watch as the entire field go past him as he repairs his shoe. Repairs not completed. So that was Jacopo Di Marchi, who was the luckless runner there.
After one small lap, we are heading for another lap here in Tilburg in the base.
So through the first kilometre, Rusu
from Romania together with Ryan
Forsyth up there. Boulevin,
he is from Belgium.
Perhaps the second string Belgian.
I think that time's a little wrong there. I think Rusu was digging, it definitely was 12 minutes. It's more like 2:50, I think.
Still a big pack. As we've seen in the previous races, will often happen here. Nobody making an early break.
Jorgen André Russo, leader in this race. And now
Arras,
also in the lead, Adrian Pen.
third in the Balkan under-23 championships recently.
A slide of one of the Belgian runners, Russo.
Which was won by Rusu, with whom we were having a bit of an altercation just then, I think.
Probably know each other very well. Arras will be looking for a big improvement on his 75th place from last year in this particular race.
In front of the race.
We should mention that the last year's champion in this race, Roman Crippa, has chosen not to defend his title. Instead, he's gone in for Italy in the men's race, the senior men's race.
You mean last year? Last year's bronze medalist. Yes, Yamani Bahan Crippa, the outstanding young Italian who recently won the Italian senior title, will be running in the senior race. But we do have the gold and silver medalists from last year with Jimmy Gressier and Hugo Hay. And as expected, the French, three men at the moment. Can't see Hayes quite a way back, but Gressier just behind the leading phalanx. Also Florian Palcan and Louis Gilbert. As they go into the woodlands. Well, and as we go into the woodlands, for the very first time this morning, the sun has come out and is peeking through the clouds. Just bringing a bit of warmth on a grey day here in Tilburg, but classical cross-country weather in this part of the world. Well, it's Gilbert now taking the lead. Adrien Ben, I should say Gressier. Gilbert in third place, Fitway up there as well. So Gressier making a surge very early, barely 2 kilometres into this race. Samuel Fitway tracking him. Fitway looking very strong at this stage. We've still got the best part of 6 kilometres of running. The very tall figure of Reitenen just going through your shot. There's Hay, quite a long way back at this stage. Daylight already starting to appear between Gressier and Fitway. Gressier just checking where his German rival is. 5 metres back to the leaders of the best of the rest, including Louis Gilbert and Ryan Forsyth. Moving up for Sweden, that looks like Emmanuel Gergis, 4th in Tilburg recently. Gressier, Fitway, Gergis and Gilbert. Ryan Forsyth also up there. Iboni just starting to slip back a little bit in 6th place. Rusu has slipped back quite a bit in the last few hundred metres.
And this is different to the way Jimmy Gressier ran last year, because it was Cripper, who, yes, he was the bronze medalist last year, who was the one taking the pace at this point, with Gressier and his French teammate following.
Slight surprise to see Britain's Mohamed just a little way back in about 15th, 16th place, about 100 kilometres, well, 100 kilometres, more like 80 metres, 100 metres I was trying to say, off the lead. Well, Ryan Forsyth, we haven't got him in our sights, but he has been running very well in the United States at US College. Well, after 2,500 metres, it's France, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Spain. That's the 1, 2, 3 in the team standings at this stage.
Yes, I'm not too surprised to see Forsyth up there. As you said, he's just come back from finishing 11th at the US Collegiate Championships, which is a comparable level of race to a European Championships. So he's come off a very, he's cross-country sharp, having done that and the races leading up to that event.
Yes, we've seen quite a lot of US-based athletes come back to Europe for these championships with, to be fair, mixed results. Sometimes we've seen them, as you rightly say, cross-country sharp. Some of them have done well in the NCAAs, but then the 2 or 3 week hiatus between the two races, sometimes they've got to the end of what's a long American collegiate cross-country season, which starts in August, and they've just run their last good race. Seen that a few times. for Jimmy Gressier now. He's certainly having a good race, so too is Samuel Fitway at the moment. And quite a large gap appearing between these leading pair and the rest. Nobody else in shot just yet. There's already quite a significant gap between the two leaders and the rest.
And of course, both are former footballers, which is interesting. The first sport was football. Gressier found himself that he was too fast to run for football, so he gave up that to concentrate on his running. With Fitway, though, we don't know how good he is. He probably doesn't know how good he is when it comes to running.
So the chasing pack led by Ryan Forsyth, Emmanuel Jurgis. Like Fitway, originally coming from Eritrea, has recently got Swedish citizenship.
Defending his European title, cross country under 23 years old, Jimmy Gressier, he's from France. In second place, Samuel Fitway from Germany. All together now. In first and second place from Ireland, it's Ryan Forsyth. In third place, we have...
So there we can see it. That's the leaders at this stage. Hugo Hay moving up. We haven't seen much of that. Still very, very interesting race. There's quite a gap between Gressier and Fitway. Back to the chasing pack led by Ryan Forsyth at the moment.
Well, that second full lap by Gressier was covered in 4:06, which is the biggest lap we've seen so far. Prior to that, 4:12.
Also moving up now in about 8th place is Mohammed of Great Britain. So it's these two leaders along the lake side here, and then a pack of 5 behind them. No problems with the logs. We've seen 1 or 2 people trip up over there. France with their 3 runners in the top 7 at the moment, clearly leading the team standings. We're only about halfway through the race. Still a long, long way to go. France, Great Britain, Northern Ireland. That's 1 and 2 at the moment. A lot can change as suddenly the sun goes behind the crowds and it just starts pouring down. Perhaps not so evident on your pictures, but it's very fine rain. But there's suddenly a lot of rain once again. I think that's going to be the flavour of the day. Clouds passing there. You can see it now. The taps have been turned on in the last 30 seconds here in Tilburg. Won't worry Forsyth though. Irish athlete, I'm sure, is used to running in the rain. Hugo Hay now moving up very, very well indeed. Now in 4th place, last year's silver medalist, being tracked by Louis Gilbert. We just saw him lose his footing just a little bit, but didn't need to recover too much. And then Emmanuel Jurgis of Sweden. And now Gressier looks as though he's surged again, just to put 2 or 3 metres between himself and Fitway. Oh yes, we're even starting to get a few spots of rain under cover here. Well, as we pass the signs, I just thought I'd like to say European Athletics live stream is brought to you with the assistance of European Athletics international partners, SPAR, Le Gruyere and Eurovision. And they'll be live streaming from all of European Athletics major competitions during 2019, starting with the European Athletics Indoor Championships from the 1st to the 3rd of March in Glasgow. Let's focus on what's happening today here in Tilburg. Well, Gressier hasn't made it a decisive surge though. Fitway still hanging on. Tough conditions now, very challenging indeed. We've had 3 races already on this course, starting to cut up sand-topped earth. Both Gressier and Fitway looking well in command of the conditions here.
Jimmy Gressier from France.
We're going to keep a very close eye on the turns here because these are becoming more treacherous by the day. So 4th lap, Jimmy Gressier and Samuel Fitway. Then a 11-second gap back to Gilles, Forsyth and Hay. A little bit further back then to Jurgis, the Swede, starting to slip back just a bit.
And that last lap slowed a little bit to 4:12. But obviously going really hard though, and the conditions aren't good.
Yes, I think that might have been symptomatic of the rain over the last minute or so. We're going to have to tread just a little bit more carefully, although they're still running along at a fair pace.
The chasing group are more or less staying within range. It's about 11 seconds now. Now, is that a bigger gap at the front?
I was just looking down the long shot there. Patrick Deaver of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, moving up quite well as well. Well, Gressier has been working hard over the previous kilometre to try and get away from Fitway, but Fitway still hanging on in there. Well, I think that's Gilles in 3rd, just getting away from Forsyth and his compatriot. Yes, it is Gilles. Looking as though he's working hard, last year's under-20 bronze medalist. Well, they whizzed through a bit quickly, but certainly confirmation that France are currently leading the team standings. Fitway getting urged on by German fans who haven't had to come very far to come to Tilburg. A few kilometres down the road.
And it's looking, Phil, as if Britain are equally clear in 2nd place. The battle seemed to be for the bronze between Spain and Belgium at this stage.
Well, it's now looking as though Gressier is starting to put quite a few metres between himself and Fitway. Gressier now moving slightly higher tempo than his German rival, that's for sure. Yes. You can see there it's probably about 20-25 metres between Gressier and Fitway now. Fitway just starting to look a little bit tired. Gressier full of running. We've still got roughly about 9 minutes left in this race. Gressier looking as though he's well on his way to defending his title. Not the first man to defend his title, though, in the under-23 ranks.
No. But
have I caught you out there?
I was going to remark on, as I frantically look up who you're referring to, I was going to praise Jimmy Gressier for the guts that he's shown, really, because we know he's got a finishing kick. We saw that last year when he outkicked Cripper, but he hasn't relied on that, and he's made it as hard as possible for anybody else to beat him.
Yes, people with reasonable memories will remember that going into the last lap and for a large part of the second half of the race, Yamani Bahan Crippa from Italy, who we've mentioned will be in the senior race, was leading the way and pushing the pace. And as Mark rightly remembers, Gressier over the final 200 metres pulled away. Crippa started to struggle very badly, and then Hugo Hay came through for the silver medal for a very, very delighted 1-2 for France. So Gressier braving the elements here in this very, very wet SPAR European Cross Country Championship, the 25th edition of this outstanding continental championship, which has really made its mark on the international calendar. Started out back in 1994 with 2 races, just the senior races. The junior races came in, and then the under-23 races, and now we have the mixed relay. Confirmation of the top 5 with just over a kilometre to go. Gressier, he can hold his form, looking well on his way to defending his title. Samuel Fitwi making his international debut. It looks as though it's going to be one which sees him with a medal hung around his neck. But the bronze medal, I think, is still very much up for grabs. As we scan back down the course. Well, the gap isn't growing between Gressier and Fitwi. Fitwi looking as though he's getting a second win. Gressier just gritting his teeth.
And that lap was 4:13, his last lap, so he's maintaining, as you said, the tempo. Fitwi's fallen back, and to answer your previous question, nobody has defended this title successfully.
So the first man in 13 years to win back-to-back titles, if he can maintain this pace, Jimmy Gressier of France. I'm sure these conditions really appeal to him. He would have raced in these sort of conditions in some of those cross-country meetings in northern France in particular. This won't be unfamiliar to him. Samuel Fitwi, well, Darmstadt, I think, was pretty muddy a few weeks ago as well. And they're really showing their class in these quite challenging conditions, and I'm being very diplomatic. Yeah, we were saying earlier we didn't quite get a definitive answer. The muddiest championships since when?
I remember Charleroi, which isn't far from here, obviously in Belgium, and how Oeiras in Portugal, Charleroi also, and how John Brown won that year, because none of us could walk quickly on the mud, but he managed to skip through it.
Yes, you've been to every one of the SPAR European Cross Country Championships. I'm a bit shy of that. I've only been to 17 of the 25. As Gressier now turns the corner. Just a couple of 100 metres to run, and he's urging the crowd to cheer him through to the finish. Well, this has been a truly magnificent run from this young Frenchman.
And watch out for a football-style celebration at the finish. Remember that last year?
Yes, I do now that you reminded me. Yes, you're absolutely right. Well, he's starting to celebrate already. I think he's looking for a French flag. There we go. Is he going to cut? Yes, that's it. Well, he can afford to do that. 2 French flags. Yes, quite wisely looking behind. But with 50 metres to go, it's Jimmy Gressier about to successfully defend his men's under-23 title here.
We have the winner, Jimmy Gressier.
For the second year running, sliding his way. I'm not sure whether that was intended or not, but he does cross the line. And Jimmy Gressier, for the second year running, is the men's under-23 champion here at the SPAR European Cross Country Championships. Big hug from the silver medalist from Germany, Samuel Fitwi, who really did his utmost. Hugo Hay got the bronze. Gressier cheering through his compatriots. That's Fabien Palcao in 7th place. Louis Gilbert, at one point he was in the bronze medal position, slipping back to 9th. Top 10 completed by Adrian Ben of Spain. Leading Dutch runner. We saw him at the start of this race. Stan Nielsen doing very well in 11th place. But once again, the European men's under-23 champion is this young man with the baseball cap, Jimmy Gressier.
I think he was going to go for a knee slide.
And it all went horribly wrong.
It didn't slide, did it?
I hope he's got a sense of humour. A rather undignified end to the defence of his title, but nevertheless, a gold medal winning effort, I think is the best way of saying.
What a pity, because that would have been a great picture with the French flags as well and the hat and everything.
Yes, I wonder what over the course of the next few minutes people are going to say to him. They're not going to begrudge him a gold medal, but there we see the Hugo Hay fan club. Hay coming through for the bronze medal. Another outstanding run, having to settle for a second best in the French team standings, but nevertheless on the individual podium again, and France will take the team golds. We're waiting for confirmation, but I think it's as good as certain that France have got the gold medals.
And both men's titles so far today have been won by defending champions.
Well, we have another 2017 champion coming up in the senior men's race. Khan Keegan Osbilan. Wonder if he can make it a trio of defences amongst the men. He's not having the best of luck, is he? He can't get his flag to stick in. Rather undignified end, but nevertheless the gold medal does come to France in the form of Jimmy Gressier once again.
En Emil Carres in 8th place. En de Nederlanders staan niet zo afhankelijk op het net daar.